Yo, what's good everybody? 100 Beast Kenshi here, bringing you One Piece chapter 891 review. First of all, I want to start out the video by saying a big shout out to everybody who watched the first video, my very first video on YouTube. Really appreciate all the comments and the feedback. Massive shout out going out to Roger's Base, because I tweeted out the video to all the uncle last night in the community, and Roger was the first to reply, and he actually commented on the video and he said that it was a great video. He didn't subscribe though, so that's neither here nor there, because I myself, I'm not going to subscribe until I see that particular video that really pulls me into a channel. So it's coming, Roger, it's coming. So keep an eye on the channel. The first thing I want to talk about is the cover page. Cover page shows the Tontata in Dressrosa rebuilding the country, and you know, it is the Tontata. Never really been my favorite of the Grand Fleet, but oh well, they're there. Although invisible soldiers, they can do their thing. This page actually reminded me as well that there's only two people left that we haven't seen from the Grand Fleet, and that is Pioneer Adventurer Orlumbussel and the new captain of the giant pirates, Hyrodin. That's actually the one that I'm really interested in seeing. Hopefully he's picked up Dory and Brogy and Omoi and Kashi, and maybe even a few other giants to join to the Grand Fleet. Only other fighting force we've seen in the story so far who has giants is the Marines, so Luffy is growing in strength, most definitely. Anyway, onto the chapter, and the chapter starts out with us seeing, you know, panels of all the destruction happening in the mirror world due to Katakuri and Luffy's fight. Now they mentioned that it's only 9:30, which I actually thought it was a little bit later than that. I thought it was around 12, seeing as Shanji's about to arrive with the cake. Carrot went so long in the full moon. I really thought it was later than that, but it's 9:30 apparently in the battle in the mirror world, so what's that, about 6 hours since it all began? Fair play to Luffy, he's actually been holding his own for the last 6 hours. Firstly though, I want to talk about finally seeing Stussy and Big News Morgans again. This is big news. So Stussy and Morgans are currently sat talking to Tamago and Mont Dior about the Straw Hats and about the events that are taking place in Whole Cake Island at the moment. Stussy actually reveals to the Big Mom Pirates that the cause of the massive explosion that took down Whole Cake Castle was in fact the contents of the Tamate Bako box. Because I wouldn't have thought CP0, or at least this particular agent in Stussy, would try to get in the way of the Straw Hats at the moment. Because in my view, it seemed to me that Stussy, or Stussy, however you want to pronounce it, is currently on an assignment, perhaps watching the Big Mom Pirates or whoever else in the Pleasure Quarter where she is currently based. I guess within the world government, within Cypher Pole, you take the wins wherever you can get them. Funnily enough though, Morgans actually, he didn't want Stussy to tell the Big Mom Pirates that the Tamate Bako box was responsible for the explosion. He actually said this could make it harder for the Straw Hats to be able to get off Whole Cake Island. Which is curious, because Morgan seems to have taken an interest in the Straw Hat Pirates. So I'm wondering to myself, maybe he wants to write a comic in the same vein as the Vinsmoke comics, The Adventures of Sora. But starring the Straw Hat Pirates instead. Anyway, moving on. We return to the mirror world where we meet a new character for the first time, Lady Flambe. Not really sure about the design of this character. I mean, she's kind of shaped like a jelly bean. She's known as the captain of the Katakuri fan club. Okay, whatever. Maybe that's why she's shaped like a jelly bean. But she's blowing a bubble with some bubble gum at the moment, and she's floating in the air as well. So I'm wondering if she probably has the bubblegum no me, or the gum no me. It looks like she's wearing a nappy full of doo-doo, so that could just be, you know, all that methane built up that's allowing her to float up in the sky like that. Anyway, Flambe and her underlings are currently firing sniper shots at Luffy while he is engaged in battle with Katakuri. So Luffy's actually fighting on two fronts at the moment. He is fighting against Katakuri and dodging these sniper shots that are coming from these fodder characters over here. That in itself, that is probably going to be helping Luffy to increase his observation haki even further, simply because it's going to be making the battle a little bit more extreme, seeing as he's fighting a high tier character at the moment in Katakuri, as well as dodging these sniper shots that he's not even paying attention to. With his eyes at least. It doesn't look like he's using Gear Second. He's trying to concentrate and anticipate Katakuri's movements. Very smart on his part. He probably is using Gear Second, but it is a little bit difficult to tell when you're looking at a black and white image. And we have a lot of Luffy dodging all around and flipping all over the place during the mirror world, trying to anticipate Katakuri's fatal attacks. Is Katakuri actually throwing fatal attacks right now? He doesn't seem to be trying to kill Luffy because he's not using the trident. He's just throwing these strength mochi, cosmic donut punches at him. So not sure what Katakuri is thinking right there. Now we do see also that Katakuri is breathing heavy during these exchanges a little bit. Going back to what I said in the previous video, Gear 4th damaged Kat. At least a little bit. Gear 4th has left a mark on him. So it seems like Luffy is just biding his time, waiting for the right moment to go back into Gear 4th and finish the job. Near the end of the exchange between Luffy and Kat in the mirror world, we can see that Luffy is, through maintaining his concentration, he is seeing the future just like Katakuri. Perhaps not to the same degree, but he is seeing the future and attempting to anticipate Katakuri's movement. And we see a small panel with more of Rayleigh's voice from Ruskaina, telling Luffy that strikes and movements have an aura and a will behind them. Luffy is drawing from his training with Rayleigh to gain an understanding of how to achieve the future sight when it comes to observation, or Ken Bunshuku no Haki. And Katakuri seems to be somewhat perturbed at the fact that Luffy is quickly approaching his type of skill when it comes to observation haki. So this may lead to some kind of frustration in Kat, where he ends up losing his concentration and allowing himself to be hit once again by Luffy. I'm still going to stick with my theory from the last video about Luffy attaining some way to hear the voice of all things during battle, and thus making that a more palpable technique or ability that he can use in the battle to overcome the high level of Ken Bunshuku no Haki against Katakuri. So moving on, we go back to Beiji's ship and we see that the wedding cake is finally complete. I'll be glad when Big Mom finally eats it and then we can just get that whole situation out of the way. Because I want to see Sanji go up against a real opponent, you know, not he's a chef, I know, he's a chef, but he's also Redleg Zeph's protege. So let's see what Blackleg Sanji can do in the new world. And of course, again, we see Pudding flip-flopping back and forth. On the one hand, she's evil Pudding, and on the other hand, she wanted vitamin S. The way Pudding actually behaves, it kind of reminds me of the transformation from Cavendish into Hakuba, and we know that this is due to him possessing a cursed sword. So is there some sort of cursed weapon that Pudding possesses, or maybe the third eye itself has some sort of curse attached to it? We don't actually know anything about the Three-Eyed Tribe. We've never seen anyone else from the tribe. We haven't seen a village of three-eyed people. So it'd be interesting to know what happened to that particular clan. And then finally return to the Thousand Sunny, where Big Mom is in hot pursuit. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Anyway, Chopper is there, he's ready to give up his life to take down Big Mom, which is probably the only thing he can do at this point. The other Big Mom pirates being led by Smoothie, or Perospero, since Smoothie doesn't seem to be anywhere to be found at the moment. They're also on the heels of the Straw Hats. And of course, Nami sees the ship in the distance, which is Beiji's ship that contains the cake. Big Mom catches the aroma of the cake on the wind. It looks like we're about to wrap up this whole chase and looking for the cake thing that Big Mom has been doing. One thing I want to note though is that as Big Mom's craving has progressed, You know, she started out just one word or one trick pony, wedding cake. But now she seems to be a little bit more coherent, and she's actually saying words and she's speaking to people as if she's regaining her right mind somehow. I was actually watching a Joy Boy theory about this. He was talking about Chopper being there to cure Big Mom's illness. Chopper's cure for the illness is for Big Mom to stop feeding that craving, to stop indulging in the sweets, and thus exasperating her addiction. Anyway, that was the end of the chapter, and I've got to say it wasn't really the greatest chapter in this arc. It was actually a little bit lacking in the way of hype. For the first arc of 2018, I kind of expected something a bit more impactful, but hey, this is what we got. Maybe I was expecting a bit too much. Regardless, it was a good chapter anyway. It didn't really move the story along very much more. Not sure why Flambe was involved. Big Mom still chasing, but speaking a little better. All in all, I think I'm going to give this chapter around a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. It didn't build the hype as much as the last few chapters have. I actually want to go back and review the rest of Whole Cake Island, but I think what I'm going to do, just to make that a bit more coherent, is to after the arc is finished, I'll go back and I'll do a review of the Whole Cake Island arc, and hopefully that'll be something that you guys will be looking forward to. Thanks for coming to check this video out. Thanks to everybody who subscribed and viewed the previous video. Again, I will be bringing more content. I'm going to be here every week. I've got 2 videos in the works right now, as well as the top 30. I need to actually get on that. Thanks for watching. This is 100 Beast Kenshi, and once again, a sword slash to the back is a true shame to a sword.